So let's say you're trying to recreate a human. You'd have all the physiological ingredients, every cell, every organ, every tendon, every muscle, and you'd assemble them into a flawless body. But at that stage, all you've made is a remarkably realistic computer-generated lump of flesh, not a human yet. The real question is what about the programming? Now, programming might sound a little strange. It might be a strange word to use for a human being, but in this case it works. So beneath our biology, people are driven by a set of fundamental motivations. This has already been established by science. We call it the 12 drives: emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, family, intimacy, social, occupational, educational, financial, gifts, and calling. So these drives are the firmware of humanity. They are universal, built into all of us, but the way they express themselves is as varied as the human population itself. So if you stop here, body plus drives, you get motivation without morality. The drives by themselves can be both beautiful and destructive. To guide them, you need a layer of governing principles, an unbreakable code that keeps the system in balance. That's where the four mutuals come in. I mean, think about this. If you had a relationship that had mutual respect, mutual consideration, mutual support, and a mutual agreement, how good would that be? That'd be defining, wouldn't it? Well, maybe the first person you need to have that relationship with is you. So the idea of mutual agreement, moving forward only when there's consent and shared decision. Get that with yourself. When these are hardwired into the system, they act as ethical filters. Every impulse from the 12 drives pass through the four mutuals before it becomes action, without dampening vitality. They're naturally toned down greed, manipulation, possessiveness, or harm, and encourage balance, cooperation, and respect. In other words, the drives gives you the power to act, and the four mutual gives you the wisdom to act well. But even with the drives and code in place, humans don't all act the same. That's because there's another layer. There's fine-tuning the controls. Picture a mixer board, like in a music studio. For each drive, you have 3 knobs. You have depth. That's how intensity the drive is felt and expressed. You have breadth, how far the drive's influence spreads in other areas. Somebody with a little bit of breadth might only affect their family. Somebody with a lot might be a national figure. So the scope. The scope is the scale and the time horizon of the drive's focus. So each knob runs from my new cover. Each knob runs from 1 to 10, and it's like treble, bass, and volume on a sound mixer. The combinations create a unique sound of a person's life. High depth in calling, low breadth in social, and mid-scope financial creates one kind of person. With 12 drives, by 3 knobs, by 10 possible settings per knob, the potential variations in humanity are staggering. Easily over 8 billion unique combinations, even before life experiences come into play. Now, imagine this visually. 4 mutuals running as a filter bar across the top, like built-in ethics processors. 3 knobs per channel for depth, breadth, and scope. Every human life is a dynamic track on this board. Over time, experiences shift the knobs. Trauma might lower scope in intimacy but raise depth in family. Education might increase breadth in mental and spiritual. Love, loss, challenge, and triumph all adjust the mix. The magic is that you could take the same exact instrument, the same hardware and firmware, and create infinite expressions of humanity simply by changing the tuning. Okay, so my newest book is a textbook for this, the U-Store. Living Love is how to apply that to all of this to relationships, and the other, Powering You, is how you can examine your gifts of discernment and psychic skills. My books already address all of these in you. Go and follow the QR code at the end of this video and find out more about your programming. There are even 2 ebooks for free if you give us your email. So why this knowledge matters is when you see people this way, not as fixed types, but as unique mixtures of drives, ethics, expression, it changes how you approach understanding them. You realize that differences are not about having wrong drives, but about those drives that are tuned and guided. It also offers a blueprint for building better humans, whether you're talking about raising children, leading a team, or in some future creating new humans. And maybe the most important part, it suggests that harmony in humanity is about making everyone the same. It's about ensuring the 4 mutuals are non-negotiable while allowing endless variation in the mix. As the saying goes, variety is the spice of life, but respect is the table it's served on. I have helped major corporations, diplomatic missions, and private individuals learn to use all of these concepts, and I'm willing to give you 5 minutes if you follow the QR code. Here's why this matters, even in a hypothetically engineered person. So emotionally, without emotion, a person wouldn't bond, wouldn't empathize, or adapt socially. They'd be a calculating automaton. Mentally, necessary for curiosity, innovation, problem solving. Without it, learning stagnates. So physically, every religion talks about this being the temple, drives bodily care, movement, and survival instincts. It's how we get our energy. Spiritually speaking, this provides meaning, purpose, and moral compass, even if you're non-religious. The family drive ensures generational continuity, protective instincts, and social stability. The concept of intimacy, which we also have a drive for, deepens bonds beyond social function, encouraging trust and vulnerability. And it's not just about sex, it's about connection. And speaking of that, the social drive enables cooperation and community building, vital for thriving, not just surviving. So occupational. This is what you do when you go to work every day. Encourages productive contribution and self-reliance. So on the other hand, our educational drive fuels the capacity to grow and adapt to change. Our financial, which is actually separate, maybe called resources, in modern contexts enables resource management and planning. So I have another book called that we just created called the U-Store, and it's about your gifts. Encourage creativity and unique personal contribution. Your calling. How do you want to be left? How do you want to leave the world? It keeps your life anchored in something bigger than yourself. And so those are the ideas, folks. So let me leave you with this. Go to the QR page. Get at least one of the free copies of books. Possibly sign up to have 5 minutes with me if you want to get into some deeper depth.